Everyone, I hope you're well. So, the world is obviously captured by the recent activist conservative politician that was Aid. And I did want to do a post, but if you look, I've cleared some of my posts out. And I do want to deliver a message. I don't like delivering these messages because who wants to listen to someone go on? But if I say a prediction and it's come true and I happen to post about it, which if you go back to my September and all the ones that I've done, there's a lot that's come true. Even like Algar's prison closed, NATO preparing, I said back in March, watch what unravels. And someone comes, so I'll tell you the exact example so you understand. I posted about, I mentioned that Russia would try to get into Poland, invade. And I mentioned it in the predictions, and I also mentioned it in the reading of Trump, China, India. And I said in that reading I'll go into a bit more detail later so that I don't digress, but that is coming. I think I did another reading, it might have been the CK, the activist reading. I don't know what that is. I bet some of you are like, can you just focus? And I basically didn't get around to do the predictions. Now I want to do the predictions, but I don't know who's interested in them. Anyway, I happened to post it. I said about NATO and I said about Russia and Poland, and someone came along in the comments, and I know the person's been watched the videos, so I'm grateful to them. And they said that actually Poland, Russia was actually trying to reach Ukraine and used Poland. And the Polish shot down with drones the Russian whatever. And so your cards are irrelevant. So basically telling me, one, I'm a liar, that I said it. Two, that, I find the word irrelevant very rude. And three, I never pulled cards, I said it. Can I go back to all my videos and make little clips of validations? Yeah, I can. I don't watch the news constantly though, but I can. But there's already a lot of time and energy going into the channel, and that's given willingly and with my heart because of the loyal subscribers and people that want to watch this channel. So I will be wrong in predictions. I'm not saying I won't. Just I'm human, okay? But I wasn't wrong, and I said it, and my cards were not irrelevant. We can sit at the table and we can disagree. We can sit on the channel and disagree. I actually like people that pose their own opinion and views. But anyone seeing that comment also makes me look like I'm just fabricating stuff. And maybe watch the videos before you make a comment. So I just want to say that. Secondly, we are looking at Luigi Mangione. A few days ago, he was in he had an update, and I believe the update was that 2 charges around terrorism have been kicked out by the judge. And while I don't oppose vigilante kind of stuff, I agree with this. Now, if you remember, in my reading, I said that they were going to overcharge him. They're going to try and trigger him. They're trying to trigger him by not seeing his lawyers and stuff like that. And they haven't they? I mean, I think that was just an overcharge. Even when he arrived, can you remember there was all those helicopters and the walk down, what do you call that walk? The walk down that thing, and police guards and stuff like that. Well, they haven't done that for Kirk, have they? And there's loads of people that are quite corrupt and more dangerous. Anyway, so I think that's appropriate. I'm not going to say that's good news. I'm going to say it's appropriate because I don't want to be insulting. And I wanted to look at his energy. I wanted to look at the energy in general at the moment. What I do want to say is that, I've said this recently, is that already I get a feel that I hope police don't become complacent on human beings. I've said in jury selection, or when it's a jury trial, that what reading was it where I said that, oh, it was for the BK, I said that I think they're starting to be like, oh, it's a jury, so, you know, it can go either way. And they're not doing the most diligent, spot on work as opposed to bench trials. And I think now we're going to see more and more people, social media, etc., extracting the information to actually make cases go forward with more legitimate evidence and capturing people, etc., than the actual law enforcement and justice system. I think we're also going to see that corruption, which I've been saying in my predictions, at that top level is getting exposed. So I think even in this case, there's a lot of names that the stakes of their name and reputation is very high in this case. And I think this has a potential of having like authoritative leader. So even if it's the president, etc., at some stage being called in or asked their opinion. So I think what I'm trying to say with that is you're going to see an unraveling of people being asked to step down because of corruption, being asked to whatever it is. I mean, the charges of that terror thing of 2 charges was just ridiculous. The amount of people that were surrounding him and that walk of whatever, let's say fame, it's not fame, was ridiculous. So let's get into it and let's see where we stand with that. I'm also thinking to do a reading, please do vote, on, there's a case of a missing teen. I've not looked into it so that I can go into the reading fresh. Missing teen, I don't know her name actually, and it says missing teen found in, sorry I'm erring, I think it might be David, but it's spelt with a 4, so instead of an A, it's spelt with a 4. Apparently they're a singer, I don't know the person, as Tesla car boot. I want to do a reading on that because I think there's, I want to know if you want me to do a reading on that, okay? So let me know. I'm also going to do after this probably a quick message on, it can be for everyone, but it's definitely going to go to TikTok and members. It's just a bit of an energy update of the week. It might, I don't know why I feel called to pull a spirit animal card for us. It's really calling to me. So if you want that, members, or if you are one of my top loyal subscribers, who I know you are, if you say you want to see that message, let me know and it'll be released to you. And members, you vote whether it gets released. It will go on TikTok as well, because the channel is not necessarily only about that. I've got more psychic predictions coming up. Please do look at the energies around this week, is very important. There's going to be a lot that unravels around leadership, a lot around the themes that I've highlighted. I also wanted to do a reading, which I've just remembered, on Duck's visit to the UK. I'm going to say something in that people will not like me probably saying, but it's not a surprising thing. But I thought, but that's obviously a lot lighter hearted to see what cards come up. So if you want that as well, let me know if that's not if I already just roll on with readings. So let's get started. I was called to pull from the Gilded Tarot Royal for Mr. Luigi Mangione. Luigi Mangione, I believe, if I recall correctly, he's around 27. He gives you the look of Italian vibes. I don't know if he ended up being a bit Italian or not. He's put in federal prison. I'm not sure if it's the same one as Diddy. And he basically pew-pewed the CEO of an insurance company. No one until now knows the motive, but if you go back before, as soon as it was done, I did like a reading which came through with a bit of a channeling. So please do go back and look at that and let me know if you want something a bit more on Kirk, because I've got a post that I want to put out. I'm a bit reluctant to, but there's a big sign that Spirit has given us that's not the obvious. And when I say it, it's going to be like, yeah, but maybe it's not like that. But it's actually a universal sign from Spirit that you're not seeing things clearly. Whether Spirit pushed this person to do, say, wear, whatever, this thing without them knowing, or whether they've done it because of a deliberate messaging that you're not going to understand the direct messaging around it. You're going to think something else. Let me know. And let's get into this reading. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your love and support. I hope you are blessed. I hope you're feeling well. And let's go. This solar eclipse energy. I'm usually okay on new moons. It's bloody hard. I don't know if anyone's feeling it. It's the last degrees of the mutable signs. You'll be feeling it heavy. So if you're last degrees of Virgo, Pisces, Sagittarius and Gemini, or if you're early degrees of cardinal in any of your placements, Aries, Capricorn, is it Capricorn? Aries, Libra, Capricorn, Cancer, you may be feeling it, or you might get the things coming up for you sooner rather than the 6 months. So let's see. Look at the bottom of the deck. Ten of Swords. So we know that this is a case of ending. This could be a message that there is going to be, you know, an outcome of something that's not good. Is he got the DEATH against him, or is it just life? These cases are hard for me because although, you know, someone's been shot, I find this case and the Sheriff Stein's case really, really hard. I'm just going to say it. Okay, so Luigi, we've got Luigi, who I feel usually is showing up. I feel like Luigi would be a King of Pentacles. I feel like some people would say that I don't feel at ease in his energy, because I feel that when they're watching him on TV, like he's a bit calm, cool, complacent, and they're not sure what he's going to do next, seeing as he's, you know, he's very like flow, go, calm and cool, yet he pew-pewed a CEO apparently. So I feel like he might throw people off, like they don't know if he's suddenly going to do something. So he's showing up as the King of Cups here. So he is tapping into some emotions where, you know, what I do like about him, which people are going to think arrogance, is despite odds or despite what he will be feeling, he is, you know, walking with strength. And I don't want to say pride because that's not a right thing, but he is not allowing you to feel like he's shaken. That's what I want to say. I'm going to get clarifiers. The judge here is basically holding on to what's right. You know, he's like, he's got what was filed, and he's tossing out what was not. You know, he doesn't seem to be leaning either way. All right, he seems to be in the middle, and he's just holding on to what he should be doing. I don't know why I'm getting the initials C and M that could put forward. The prosecution here, it seems like they're not feeling so strong about something, okay? They are focusing on playing with emotions, you know, someone's past, someone's father, someone's wife. There's heartbreak, there's, you know, just a lot of a mess caused in the communities by this. That's what they're doing. So I just want to pull a further card. We'll take this one, and we'll take the bottom one. This is going to be the case, because it's the judge, and this is the prosecution. Actually, just the prosecution, because it's very similar to the case. And the bottom of the deck. Yeah, look, there is doubt, by the way, of the prosecution. They're doubting something. There's something that I feel, maybe there's a protocol or procedure or something that the prosecution side, everyone who would be the prosecution, someone there, whether it's law enforcement, etc., didn't follow something. And I think that is something that's going to be in the favor of the defense. Now, this is Luigi. You know, here we get the Page of Pentacles, and we get the Two of Cups. So it looks like there's definitely one, you know, he's definitely got the win with what was tossed out. One of them was a bit more heftier than the other, so that was a major win. I can't remember if his lawyer is a female, but it seems like they are having discussions, and they did recognize this as a major win. We've got the prosperity of the fish. And we've got this deliverance of the tossing out. It was two, but it seems like one was heftier than the other, so it's a good claiming there. He still shows up as a king. Here, the prosecution, there is a weakness here. They're holding their strength, they're standing by their, I wanted to say pew-pews, but there is something that could go either way. I think he's got more charges, more than another one or two charges. It looks like he's got a peripheral of charges, and they're actually looking at all of them to make sure that they don't get a toss out. I am getting, let's just pull cards. Didn't realize there was another one, but we'll take it. So with Luigi, I do get that Luigi's prosecution, unfortunately, I don't know when this one fell out. We'll do it like that. Obviously, they have celebrated these two big wins because they are big wins. There is, where the prosecution is focusing on a loss of the tangible elements of what is these things that were against him and what could still stand. The defense see that there's a loss of are now focusing on what is against him, and they're looking at looking at something with a new pair of eyes, like they've gained two things, put it behind them excellently, we'll keep that in the cupboard, but there's three critical ones that they're looking at with a new perspective. This, I feel, is the CEO, okay, showing up, okay, there is that win that they've got, but I do get that there's within this case there is a RAT in the camp. Okay, so I think in the channel, and I said there's someone that knew, or there's some links or something, and I do think that there's someone that could be spying on the defense or listening in when they shouldn't be. Okay, so whether that's phone calls, what it is, there's someone appearing here, and we get it with this RAT. They see obviously the win as a new way to now focus on the things that are left for against Mangione, because the main one's a massive win is set out so they can focus this way. It's interesting that the prosecution, because it feels like the defense are gonna say that what you're holding up, you're holding all these things up with evidence, but nothing is actually full on 100% evidence. Not all your cups are full, and you are basically saying this, but can you say that Luigi, for example, Luigi was there exactly, you have him doing it on camera, so they're going to try to discredit evidence where something's not been followed through, and where the prosecution has been like, let's raise all these charges. The defense is going to say, this was absurd, you're doing things beyond the scope, and you're just going all out, and there was no need for it. Also, there's a period of time, and this could be something like, one of the things that I'm thinking of is, I don't know if he was read his full and proper rights for that situation at the beginning. That could be something that the defense also bring up, right? There's something within more than one thing on the prosecution side that they didn't follow through rightly, and it could be up to 3 things. So that's what I get, and like I said, I do get that there's going to be a tossing out of you know, like in the justice system, where people are like, well, we can't trust what is being said, what is being done, and the corruption side of elements. There's something else that wanted to come through, and I'm kind of forgetting it, so just a second. He's feeling more hopeful now. I've got a double confirmation there. He's feeling a bit more hopeful. He felt like in some way they were tying him in every single direction that they could. I don't know why there seems to be some money here in the background happening. And it seems like, you know, I don't know, he was losing money. There was some money. Oh, okay, yeah. So there was a lot of money robbing from the healthcare, right? And it seems like he is feeling better since that's been tossed out. He also feels like the judge is obviously helped liberate him a little bit from this situation of being really just hung, where the huge charges, if they didn't get tossed out, would have kept him in a very isolated space of being able to defend with these large charges against him, like a heavy burden basically of the large charges. So obviously recognizing the judge as someone who has acted in a justified, his professional manner. there are elements that the prosecution will be telling some tales about. And this could be around the timing. So it could have been like it was early morning, but it was still dark. There's something that, whatever they're going to say, and it could be footage, but I feel it's around the timing I said, but that they're not telling the truth of. I asked for this card, and I was going to pull 3 cards for it to come out. It's the Hermit, and it's come out in the first card, and basically it's saying there will be some tales in the case put forward against Mangione, obviously, to get the prosecution where they want to be. And this could also relate to some online research or thread that the whole picture is not being delivered as well. So that's what I have there on that case. That's our update on that. If you like this, give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, stay blessed, and bye for now.